Morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. This is the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso with you on this Thursday morning. We got Riley Rosebee on the show today. It's been a minute. We've spoken to Riley. Riley is going to talk to us about, I'm guessing, something to do with Tesla and the robo-taxis or whatever. Riley's all about like the moonshots, right? The super high growth stuff. And the stocks of the future. So we'll talk to Riley about that. That'll be about 9. We'll have Kenny Glick stop by. We'll have Sean stop by. I have a good story that like kind of involves Sean. Like Sean's there at the beginning, the very beginning of my story, and then he's not there at the end. But I'll save that for when Sean's on at around 9:20, 9:30 today. That's what we got. What up, chat? How we doing? Good, great, excellent. Here we go.
The biggest company in the world.
That's right.
Just closed at all-time highs. How do you feel about that?
The NVIDIA.
It's not NVIDIA. It's NVIDIA, or is it NVIDIA?
Or is I don't know.
Nathan, already given a shout out to angry liberals. I mean, it's a little early, Nathan. I mean, haven't we hated on angry liberals enough? And by the way, we don't hate angry liberals. We are very grateful for their anger and their short selling. We're very grateful. Very grateful.
I don't think the angry liberals are the ones out here with massive short positions.
90% of Democratic voters,
they're not doing anything.
Are betting on lower prices in the stock market over the next 6 months. 90%.
No, they just own ESG funds.
For the record, like 40% of the Republicans. So it's not just angry liberals. There's some angry Republicans out there too, which we appreciate also, but definitely at extremes for sure. We love that. So shout out to angry liberals. Thank you. We love you. We need people on the other side of our trade, Strazza. We need them.
And speaking of angry liberals, how about the great J.P. Morgan?
Is J.P. Morgan an angry liberal?
Well,
dude,
Jamie Dimon.
Listen, I not to like be a hater on. He had like a disease, but man, he was an ugly dude. That J.P. Morgan guy.
I'm talking about Jamie Dimon, but
Jamie Dimon's a good-looking fella. Good-looking fella, that Jamie Dimon. The J.P. Morgan, on the other hand, whoo, he would like hide. He was so ugly, and he was just like mean to everybody. So he was like ugly on the outside, ugly on the inside.
Banks look great. JC is my point.
Banks look great. Market bellwethers. Hello. Before we get into the state of the market, Steve Strazza, is there one stock on this here planet of Earth that is a better market bellwether than JP Morgan?
Probably. I mean, I would probably go with one of the big techs, but
I was going to say, what's in the category? What can you classify? Maybe Apple, Microsoft.
I'd probably go with Microsoft. Apple's kind of a little different. I would pick a tech one. JP Morgan works. Caterpillar works if you zoom out.
JP Morgan definitely works. But my question to you very specifically, is there a better bellwether than JP Morgan? Or is JP Morgan the bellwether of bellwethers?
It's a great bellwether. It's on that list. We make that index of like the bellwether index. It's in there. There are a lot of good ones. I was not
understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. Is there a better bellwether? That's the question. Throw up slide 2, please. Throw up slide 2. Is there a better bellwether? A yes or no would suffice.
But here's the truth, JC. You could overlay most stock charts with the index, and they're not going to look identical like this, but they're going to look pretty damn similar.
And by the way, this isn't like a new thing. This has been going on for 100 years.
Well, so I was thinking about this yesterday, right? As an investor, I was talking to somebody who said, I'm just buying stocks every month because I get paid and then I take X amount of money and I buy stocks with it. And he's like, so it's just a slow drip into the market. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's good. That's like what they teach you you're supposed to do. They have like fancy words and phrases for what it is. But if you're really trying to do this the best way possible, stocks all bottom at the same time for the most part. So you should be doing a lot
Not
of
the best
buying
ones. The
right
best ones
here,
bottom first.
and then you should be doing whatever, not so much during the middle of the cycle, and then you should be doing a lot of selling all at once. But really, if you want to like kill it in the market, you're doing a lot of buying at one time. Go through the list of S&P 500 stocks. Tell me how many bottomed for this cycle in October of 2022. And if they didn't bottom in October of 2022, then they did it about 2 months later
Yeah,
in the
that's
last
right.
week of December or the first week of January. My point is, all of the stocks, the best entries were clustered around the same 3-month period. And it's like that every cycle. And then when it comes time to sell, the right time to sell will all be clustered around the same quarter or 2 quarters. And then it's going to be like that again next cycle. So you could DCA and do all that, fancy stuff that they teach you in business school.
It's not that fancy.
Or you could just use like trend following tools to pick when bottoms are in and tops are in, and then do lots of buying and lots of selling around those periods.
It seems easier now, but in the moment, Steve,
It's not that hard.
it's not that easy either.
Can we? Okay, so while J.P. Morgan's certainly a bellwether for financials, you can put Goldman Sachs in that category as well. Exxon and Chevron for energy, Amazon for consumer discretionary, obviously, and we can go down the list.
FedEx.
But for the overall market, not for a sector, but for the overall market, I'm going to go with J.P. Morgan as the number one. You get one choice, Strazza. What's your stock? What is the market bellwether in your opinion?
Yeah, I'll take Microsoft. JP Morgan's fine. I could do it with JP Morgan.
Spencer Israel, any votes here?
Amazon.
You can argue with this chart right here. Come on.
Amazon's a good one.
Let's say Amazon.
I like picking a consumer name. I think that makes sense. I think Caterpillar works. If you told me Caterpillar,
Caterpillar, or Walmart, FedEx. I don't know. Any of those are fine.
Dude, Walmart representing
Walmart's
America
good.
is so classic. The people of Walmart are why they invented the internet.
Okay.
The
fact that you could go to peopleofwalmart.com and sort by mullets.
I don't think nobody goes to that site. Just you.
What do you mean nobody goes to that site? That is bullshit. That is one of the most viewed sites in the history of the internet.
Hey guys, listen to me. I have big news. Love your shirt today, JC. I have big news.
Oh, thanks.
Saturday morning, I'm waking up. Guess where I'm going for the first time in a very, very long time, Spencer?
Disney World.
Costco, baby.
Go to Costco.
Oh,
I'm going straight to Costco. New member. Look at
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you.
So, okay, this is the first thing that you need to do.
What?
Before you get the hot dog, you fat fuck. The first thing that you need to do is you need to talk to the store manager and find out which day they get the ribeye caps delivered.
Okay, great.
So they specifically cut out the ribeye caps. And they get delivered on a certain day, and that day they're gone. Because there are other people who've already asked the manager which day, and they know. So you got to find out what day the ribeye caps are delivered.
Yeah.
So that you go that day to get the ribeye caps. That's all I got to say about Costco.
I have one trick. I have one trick too, Steve. If you see an asterisk on the price tag, it means this thing we're getting rid of all of this inventory in the store, and it ain't coming back. It'll never be cheaper than it is right now.
Really?
It'll never. If you see the Star of Death, the asterisk, it'll never be cheaper than it is.
This is good marketing. This is good marketing.
The Star of Death means I might as well just load up now because it ain't come back. So,
all right. Markets are moving. Dow's down Dow's up a hundy. Shall we?
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 100 points. 100 points exactly. 43,400 for the Dow. S&P 500 futures up 1/3%, up almost 20 handles, 61.65. NASDAQ 100 all-time highs, 22,550, up close to 100 points today, almost 0.5%, leading the way this morning. 30-year bond futures up again, pushing 115 as bonds continue to climb higher and interest rates fall out of bed. Crude oil flat this morning at 65. Copper, Dr. Copper back above 510 for copper, up 2.6% on the day. Gold flat at 33.50. Silver up 1% today, 36.75. With the VIX VIX has a 16 handle. Ooh, 16 handle for the VIX. Haven't seen that in a minute. Over in funny money land, we got Bitcoin 107,350 flat this morning. Ethereum up 1.2%, 2450 for the ETH. Solana 143 flat on the day. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.25 trillion. 3.25 trillion. What stands out from this morning's futures, gentlemen?
No, from this morning, not much. I'm trying to find a stat that I read like an hour ago. Shoot, it was like a Dow Jones market data stat about like yesterday was like the smallest move in a very long time, but I can't find it now. It's pissing me off.
Do they say that you should be shorting dull markets, or do they say never short dull markets? What is it that they say? I forgot.
What did they say, or what do you say?
What do they say?
They say never short a dull market.
Is this a dull market, Strazza?
What was that stat? I'm sure somebody else saw it besides me.
Right? Who's taking a peek at some of these quarterly candlesticks? Don't front. I took a couple peeks.
I thought you don't do that.
I thought you don't like.
I don't, but I'm at the beach. I'm wearing a collar. So you gotta mix it up. Gotta keep you guys
trying new things. He's trying new things.
Just a tip, just to see how it feels.
All right.
Can you throw up slide 2, please?
I was buying some AG yesterday, Jeff. That's mine.
Why you hold on? Don't change the subject. Quarterly
Answer
candles.
questions.
Quarterly candles on the copper futures.
It's too much. What are you?
Is it too much?
Yeah.
I know, but when you're looking at something this long, right? The all-time high quarterly close for copper was last quarter, believe it or not, and that was at $5.03. And if my calculations are correct, we are now at $5.10. So this incomplete quarterly candlestick it does not show this morning's returns. If the quarter were to end right now, that would be the highest quarterly close for copper ever. Steve Strazza, what does that mean for you?
I think these stocks got to go, and they're trying to. Like Freeport looks good, but that little coil's got to pop, and this thing needs to be in the 50s, I think, to support a massive, massive base breakout like this in the spot market. Period. The stock's got to confirm it, just like silver miners started doing when silver broke out. Right? That's where my head's at. I like it. I think it happens, but frankly, right now, I'd probably if I had to buy something right here today, palladium, baby.
Yeah, man, the rotation into palladium is off the charts. Said no one ever.
Right? Wait, I found the stat. The S&P 500 fell 0.02 points yesterday, which was the smallest change in what are we at? Is that 8 years?
It's a low volatility environment.
January 2017, 8.5 years.
It's no 2017 out here.
No.
2017 was crazy.
Dude, 2017 was so crazy. Remember all these assholes were telling you that Trump becoming a president was going to crash the market and volatility was going to spike. Remember those assholes back at the end of 2016?
Right.
It was the exact opposite. It was the least volatile year in the history of the stock.
That was the year that we're just
one of the best, most chill markets we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of angry liberals, they're back, right? There were a lot. I was living in California back in 2016, so I saw I had a front row seat to angry liberals, and now they're back. Obviously, they're more angry now than they were then. That's crazy, right?
Alfonso asked me a great question yesterday. He said, if everybody from New York is moving to Florida, do you worry that eventually this crazy shit in New York will happen in Florida?
They're not moving to Florida. They're not moving to Florida, just like nobody moved to Canada when Trump became president, just like nobody left Twitter when, none of those things.
The housing trends. Everybody's moving to Florida, and they got those maps that show most of them are coming from the tri-state. So
dude, Florida has ghost cities, like China, dude. These like Fugazi cities. It's so bad.
What? Where?
They're there.
What are you talking about?
They're there. Over on the west side. They're just building unfinished homes. It's just ghost towns. One day there'll be a city here. It's communism. It's not going to happen.
The master plan communities that I've seen are freaking awesome. Golf courses, everybody's riding around in golf carts, resort style pools, pool
I do like
bars.
riding around in a golf cart. I do that here at the beach.
I'm
I
getting
do
one.
like that.
I'm getting one.
Like I have to go 1 block and I take the golf cart.
I think you got to go back to Florida. I think it's been like too long since you really like checked out the great state of Florida.
I'm not from Florida. I'm from Miami.
Yeah.
So I'm not a Florida man.
Mm-hmm.
You are quite.
Shout out Florida mans.
Shout out to the Florida man out there.
Here in the chat.
Shout out to
Florida
Can we talk about the biggest company in the world? Slide 4, please, Mr.
As of yesterday or as of today?
As of this very moment, which is
Right.
the only moment that actually matters.
Right.
NVIDIA.
We have a new one.
Largest company in the world making new all-time highs. Historically speaking, if the largest company in the world is making new all-time highs, is that normally evidence of a market under stress, of a market under pressure, a bear market, any of those things?
Well, let's just pour one out for Microsoft, who was the most valuable company in the world until.
I don't think we need to pour one out for Microsoft. I think Microsoft's doing just fine. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. Microsoft also closing at an all-time high yesterday. So, yeah, no reason to pour anything out. You drink that, right? Don't waste any wine. Not on my watch. Yeah.
I went to get my Florida man hat, but it's already packed. My girlfriend is so good at packing.
I'm happy
Love her
for
so
you.
much.
Does she complain afterwards that she had to do all the packing?
She hasn't talked to me in 2 days.
Because my wife tells me, she's like, wow, I do all the packing around here. It's like, yeah, because you pack a fucking month in advance. So
that's what happened
by the
here.
time it's time for me to pack the day before, like a normal person, you already did it. It's not my fault.
The box is in the trunk since Tuesday. But it's good. There's a strict segregation of duties at my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, us too. I mean, it's
only
important.
way.
Yeah, it's important.
Anyway, back to NVIDIA. What were we saying?
It's a big one, dude.
Highest
this is the biggest
ever.
Breakout. Yeah.
Really high.
This one and the way it's happening, JC, it's essence of a breakaway gap there. Love to see that at the breakout zone. This one means more to me than any of the new highs, at least at an individual component level. This is the biggest one. If you said you got to see one stock make it back to new all-time highs, I said it better be NVIDIA. This is huge. This is saying AI trade is back on. Get behind it. We're going higher. New leg up. I think it's really important. This is the poster child of the AI revolution, of this bull market cycle. This is that one name, right, that we'll all talk about 5-10 years from now when we reminisce about the great bull run of 2025.
The great bull run of 2025.
We'll probably call it that.
I've got
It makes for a clean narrative because we're about to enter the second half of the year. So,
JC, you think they got Cubans in Naples, or am I going to miss my cortaditos?
they got Cubans in Naples. Yeah, I think you'll be all right.
I had too much cortadito this morning. I've got the shakes.
Dude, can I just tell you, man, how much I miss Mexicans?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I fucking love Mexicans, man. And they just don't have Mexicans where I live. You know, Mexicans just never made it to the Northeast. Like, dude, I can't get a good taco if it killed me. I had some guacamole yesterday. They put like sour cream on it. They put cucumbers in the guacamole. What the fuck?
Where do you put Mexican
Dude, this would
in your
never
cuisine
happen.
list?
Where's Mexican food in my cuisine? It depends. I mean, like those tacos
Top
in
five?
Sonoma. Oh, those tacos in Sonoma are off the charts.
You got to pretend like it's good Mexican, right? So you make the assumption it's good Mexican. Is it in your top 5? It is,
I can
right?
eat it every day. I could eat it every day.
It's in your top 3, I think. I think you go Japanese. I don't know if you're Italy or France. You're weird with the France stuff. I think you go Japanese, Italian, Mexican. That's your list.
I'd probably put Mexican above Italian.
wait,
How about that?
Can we talk about Sammy's for a second? Just one more time.
You bet your ass we could talk about Sammy Spencer. What do you want to talk about?
Well, NVIDIA obviously is NVIDIA, but you also had Micron this morning. They reported overnight. Micron's been on a ridiculous take. Micron has doubled since those lows, right? In April, since Liberation Day. Doubled. You've got AMD finally waking up. The whole sector is waking up. That's my point, right? The whole sector is waking up. So, is the play to just go with the best in show, which is Nvidia, or the catch ups from the other names?
Nvidia's not the best in show. Broadcom has been.
Okay.
He's got you.
I mean,
all right. That's fair.
if Matt,
all right,
means
I will
anything
give
to
you that one. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I mean, best in show ain't Nvidia. Nvidia's playing catch up, baby.
That's right. Okay.
Does it go back? Does that relative trend tip back to Nvidia for a little bit?
Right?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah.
Can we talk about Canada, eh?
Yeah, and by the way, also just to address the chat, we could do recess whenever we want. We could do recess at the beginning of the show, the end of the show. We could do a whole show of just recess.
This
if
is
we wanted
America.
to.
This is America. What do you think this is? This is
Hey,
China?
Canada, eh? New all-time highs, eh?
Dude, so I'm on the I'm doing a video yesterday with the lovely Catherine Murray. Catherine Murray, gangster. Catherine Murray, she's institutional sales and trading at Goldman Sachs, then Deutsche Bank. And then she got into the media game. She was at BNN for a while, got bought out by Bloomberg, the whole thing, right? So I'm doing a video with her. We go way back. We party when I'm in Toronto. She's great, right? We're talking off air, like during the commercials. And this is yesterday. She goes, JC, you're not investing in Canada, right? I'm like, you bet your ass I'm investing in Canada, Catherine. How could you not? New highs. And I go, you know what? I'll tell you what else, Catherine. And she's just like cracking up. I'm like, I'll tell you something else. I'm like, Imperial Oil is the best oil and gas stock on this here planet of Earth. And she's like, no. I'm like, yes. Tell me that Imperial Oil is not the best oil and gas stock on Earth.
Yeah. I chose the wrong fighter probably 2 years ago when I tried to get some exposure to Canadian oil and gas. I went with the CNQ. And then for like half a year, I'm just sitting there like, why am I not in this one? Eventually flipped it. But IMO is best in show over in Canada for energy. And their banks are catching on too now, JC, which I think makes sense. Go look at a chart of TD Bank. Coming into the year, this thing was at new multi-year lows, lowest level since 2020. TD is up, 40%. Looks to be completing a beautiful base. The banks are starting to follow out there. And I'll tell you, if you had to pick one country where the banks have been the weakest this whole cycle, it's probably Canada. So I think there's a big catch-up move there. And you do have some very large, well-known, been around forever type of banks.
Can I tell you some fun facts?
Mm-hmm.
Fun facts. Throw up the first couple of slides there, Spencer. Just some old footage, some throwback footage that I found of Catherine and I back in the day. But as I throw you up some fun facts. So ready for this? So Canada, very different than the United States. Canada, 9% technology, which is more than I would have thought. This is Catherine and I.
Back
in 2018.
Yeah, but is that just Shopify?
Shopify?
Yeah.
What's Shopify? Oh, Canada's. Yeah. Notice how I'm
that 9% might be all Shopify.
Notice how I'm in the lobby of Bloomberg. Like I would shoot segments right from the lobby, like in the food court of the Bloomberg lobby. Isn't that wild that they used to do that? I don't think they do that anymore.
Wait, that's the cafeteria?
Like the lobby cafeteria, it's all like, it's all in one.
That's funny.
Right in the lobby. Very distracting. Very distracting. And then look at the next one. That's us in the Toronto studios. This is back in like 2017, 2018. Shout out Toronto. Good eating in Toronto.
I hear that was a good year, 2017.
All right, ready? So technology, 9% of Canada in the S&P 500 is more than 30%. Canada, ready for this? 16% energy. The S&P 500 is 3%. The Dow is 2%. Materials, believe it or not, have a 13% weighting in Canada. In the US, it's 1%. Financials are only 13% of the S&P 500, 0% of the NASDAQ. For some perspective, in Canada, financials represent 33% of the overall index. Just in terms of returns, between 23 and 24, the S&P 500 was up 57%. The NASDAQ almost doubled. Canada was only up 28% over those 2 years. This year, the S&P 500 is only up 4%. Canada up 13%. Rotation.
They could change those weightings. They could change the rules, right?
Yeah, but they just don't. It's Canada. They got hockey and natural resources.
No, I know.
And all their indexes are capped.
Yeah.
Why Diverse Insight says, as a Canadian, he laughs when I talk about the country. Why? I learned how to ski in Canada. Vancouver is beautiful, dude.
They
British
don't take their
Columbia is
stock. They don't
ridiculous.
take their stocks as seriously as we do.
They
Probably.
definitely do.
Well, they take their gold stocks and natural resources stocks. A good Canadian tuxedo. My mother-in-law was wearing a Canadian tuxedo the other day, and I'd rock that. Would you rock a Canadian tuxedo, Strazza?
No.
It's too hot down there in Florida for a Canadian tuxedo.
I wouldn't rock a tuxedo.
What if it's a black tie event? You got to get fancy sometimes.
Really not for me.
Wait,
Black tie events.
Real fast before we bring on Kenny, did you mention railroads in there? Did I miss that?
Industrials also represent. I'll tell you right now. Industrials in Canada represent 12.5%. So about 50% bump from the United States. Right?
It's a lot of railroads.
All right, guys. Listen, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Adios.
Somebody says, I love it that Strazza is moving with the rich old people. Try it.
Dude.
Try it. Okay. I've spent some time in some places in my life, and being surrounded by rich old people ain't bad.
The last time I was in Naples was to visit rich old people that I was related to, right? Who has since passed away.
Some of the best towns I've ever been to, lived in, spent time in, rich old people. Yeah. They're the best towns. Yeah. They know what's up, right? They're old. They've seen it. They've seen it all. They know what makes a good town. Shout out rich old people.
All right, let's bring on Mr. Kenny Glick, and then we'll bring on Riley, and then I don't know.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tugged it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Mr. Glick, what's going on?
What's up, my man?
What do we got today? We're buying Micron. See, I knew you'd be looking at Micron. The guys weren't interested, but I knew you'd be watching Micron.
Yeah, it had a monstrous aftermarket yesterday. It was we were just kind of joking around, like, normally you don't want to buy right as they're releasing their earnings report, but we did anyway because the market never goes down. So we bought at 127.50. Some of our guys, or Becky, what's up, Becky? Well done. She got out at 135 from 127.50 yesterday, and then the stock actually gave it back.
Yeah, so, it gave pretty much all of it back.
Very all back. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we're looking for the same thing today. And you just got let me know what. Give me a second because I don't have much to talk about today, so I might as well show you this thing. Let me see if I can.
Please show us.
It keeps. When I run Think or Swim on two platforms, it just seems to like.
Oh yeah, they don't like that, Kenny.
But anyway, so if you guys been watching the midday show, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We've had some decent trades while we're doing the midday show. We started this idea with the idea was to just do some reviewing, but we've been doing some live trades while we're on the market, while we're on the live show. But it was too short so far. It was just kind of ironic, even though the market never goes down. But I got some specific levels I want to show you if anyone is demented enough to think the market's ever going down again. So hold on a second right here.
Yeah. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, noon Eastern, right here on the channel and on stockmarkettv.com. Kenny Glick doing his thing. He'll be live today.
Yeah, we caught the SRM lot, and it was great. What's funny, because both times we were doing the show live, I was short the Qs but long some weird stock, and the weird stock went up while the Qs were going down. And we did escape alive yesterday on the Q short. So, but I want to show you this MU trade. We call it the Jerry Orbach, the most underappreciated actor of our generation. Jerry Orbach, when a stock gaps up and gives it all back. So there it is. And if you guys, I don't know if you see my charts yet. But,
I cannot see.
Oh, hang on. Here we go. Yeah. Hold on. Want to see something? This is a thing of beauty right there. You guys see that?
Oh.
It's like artwork to me. And, what's wonderful about the way I trade, there's nothing on this chart except a blue line and an orange line in the candlesticks of the price. So price action, let's give it up for Becky one more time from 127.50. And again, this is where the irrational exuberance and the, let's call it psychotic bullishness comes into play. You might as well just buy. It's a chip stock. They're reporting earnings. This thing's going to pop on earnings. And that was the play. And luckily this time, sold it at 135 on the way up. I was more looking to short it. I shorted it on the double bottom break here in the aftermarket, got paid a little bit. So I come in, and again, I'm a reversionary trader. So stocks that are gap down, like FedEx yesterday, no brainer. I'm looking to buy. We got paid on the FedEx yesterday a couple of times. Maybe you heard about the story. I was trying some other trades in the morning session, and none of those.
Well, I read your email, so
yeah.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's like we have a path. Like let's when Dorothy was told, just stay on the yellow brick road. It's going to be all right, and you'll get to where you need. No, I'm going to go venture off into the woods. Oh, no, I'm going to go into the poppy fields. So I was all over the place yesterday. I don't know what came over me, but I got blindsided by some of these these names that I was trading last week, and I was just like, "Ooh, they're breaking new highs. Let me just buy them." I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but you stray off the path one time, you lose your discipline, and you get smacked for it. So let's go back to what we do for a living: trading earnings reports around VWAP. So again, the beautiful, wonderful world of when I say the rigging and the manipulation of the market. Look, here you got a stock, one of the most popular stocks on the planet, reporting earnings, the most volatile moment that a stock could have in the aftermarket. And yet, where does it go? Exactly to a whole number. It's all pre-programmed. It's all pre-programmed. So this morning, there was a lot of action last night. So you come in, you're looking for the same type of action. And this is what we just call blue line, orange line. And this is the fade. So when JC's always saying, if you're not fading, you're not trading, here it is.
He's not always saying that, but
he's saying it a lot enough. But
yeah. All right.
And here's what's nice is this is happening live, friends. So the blue line, that's today's VWAP. Orange line's prior day VWAP. And what we have found more often than not, when you have an earnings report and a stock breaks through the VWAP and starts to get some momentum to the downside, it goes back to the or back trade, gives it back to the orange line. But if the orange line puts up some support, you'll go back to the blue line. And you're seeing it live right here. Wham. So now what do you do about it? Now what I'm hoping for, again, if you shorted it here, you covered some here, you got stopped out on the way up. Now you're probably done with the short. So now if it goes back above the VWAP, I'm still looking for a short on it. So I look for it to retest those highs from the pre-market. Above those pre-market highs, no shorting. I might even just buy the stock. But test the pre-market highs, rolls back through the 1 minute, that's where I'm going to look to short. And now that it held prior day VWAP, and we know the stock was lower last night, that's the new setup. So again, if you're demented enough to even think about shorting this market or any stock, you're just nuts. So if you're going to short, you better wait for the most amazing proper setup. And that has to be above VWAP, rolls over, breaks down, and then goes through there, which is what I'm going to wait for. So again, I'm going to be very patient about this. We already got paid a little bit on this last short. So if those parameters come up, so I just blew the chart up.
Where'd the stock go? It's gone. There it is.
Way to go. There we go. So it's already doing what I want to see it do, right? We already got paid a little bit, got stopped out on the way back. Well, not stopped out, but we covered on the way back up because I don't like stocks when they break back above those big candles. So now we're flat. So now we could come in and just say, all right, what's going to happen next? And look at this beautiful moment right here. Rejected at the VWAP to the penny. The rigging is on, baby. So now if it rolls over, I might just have to reshort it. But I'm hoping at the open where you get this burst of volatility and the burst of energy, maybe we'll rip up, roll. The rip and roll is what I'm looking to short. But I have no problem buying it if it gets over this 130.5 area, because we saw the stock, what did it do yesterday? It went to 137. So that's got to be factored in. So if this thing breaks over 135, 130.5, you're looking at it to probably go up 2.5 points. And again, considering we're in a market that never goes down ever, chances are we'll be buying this stock. But I'm crazy enough to plan a short right now. And again, we just got paid a little bit. So again, very difficult market to short anything in. And it's almost a waste of time. So I'll be the guy wasting my time waiting to look to short this thing. So that's where I'm at right now. And the Qs also, we ran into some sellers yesterday. They didn't amount to anything. But today you're starting to see, we got above yesterday's highs, which is still super bullish, brand new highs, QQQ all-time highs, back below the VWAP. You see that price right there? That price is the only price I'd be thinking about shorting the Qs today. So if there's any residual selling or some sellers at all-time highs or whatever you want to say, whatever you want to think about it, you got to break prior day VWAP to get anything going. And as far as I'm concerned, if any guys are still swing trading these QQQ long, do not sell unless you break prior day low. So everybody I know, I think everybody in the room right now is swing trading Qs long. Nobody get out of these. We're probably going to 600 by the end of the year. And again, I show you my targets: 1,040, April 20th, 2028. Put it on a post-it note. It's going to happen.
If you've never traded with Kenny, the point is not that these lines are respected 100% of the time. Nothing is respected every time. But the point is that these lines come into play a lot. Enough, in fact, that they are that you can use them. Right?
Yes, sir.
Come into play every day. So no, it's not gonna. The price is not going to respect these VWAPs every single time. But you'll get, if you watch it enough, you'll see it, like he just showed you, Micron going whatever going down to the penny. It's going to happen enough that you can trade them.
Right.
Is the point. So
you got it. And speaking of respecting lines, my only other idea, and I am psychotic, and not just psychotically bullish. I'm still crazy enough to think I can make money on some shorts. I've been getting paid on CoreWeave short since this little blow off top from 187. The stock tends to rally and roll. So once again, I'm going to look for that same thing. But right now, it's trapped in between prior day VWAP and today's VWAP. I think the stock's right to go down another 14 or 15 points from here. Kind of ran out of steam. You got the 180, and that's a big number. $30 stock, 50, got the 180, got your 80, got your 120, got your 150, got your 180. I just think this thing's ripe to go down another, I'll show you in the big chart. So here's your 1 year chart. I'm just looking for a pullback to test that last sell-off down at 132. So I'm stalking CoreWeave for a short. And yes, I'm nuts. I'm crazy. I don't even know why I'm thinking. I shouldn't be thinking about.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you're messing with that. There's easier money to be made.
Yeah.
Than shorting a recent AI IPO. Guys, if you have not been in Kenny's room, this is basically what he does. He does what he just did for the last 10 minutes. He does it for like 3-4 hours every single day. What I love about Kenny is he's not trading 30-40 stocks a day. He's trading like 5 stocks a day, and he's trading them over and over and over again. I've seen it. He can literally talk about one trade for like a half hour. I've seen him do it. Like one stock, one setup, talking continuously for a half hour on the intricacies of the setup, when to buy, when to scale in, scale out, the whole thing. Hitthebid.com is where he does this every single day. And if you want to kind of get a lay of the land and just watch him more, right here on the channel today, noon Eastern time, Kenny's going live with his YouTube show. So, Kenny,
yeah, we thought I could sum it up in a half an hour, but it's like
Kenny.
hour.
I know we said a half hour, and the next thing I know, it's like 105, and Kenny's like, hey,
I can't stop talking,
and he's still going.
I have no friends, and I have nowhere to go, so this is all I got.
You can't go.
I got nowhere else to go.
You can't go outside; it's too hot. So, yeah. All right, Kenny, we'll see you at noon. All right.
All right. Be careful out there. Shorting is short-lived, and you're gonna die later.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Shorting is short-lived, and you're gonna die.
Yeah. All right. No, that's good. That's actually really good.
Shorting is short-lived, and you're gonna die. That might be
That's how you want to spend your time.
That's the tagline of the show right there. Yeah, that's wonderful. All right. I actually am gonna write that down right now because that's a very good quote. Hold on, give me a second.
Kenny, quote of the day.
Short-lived, and you're gonna die.
Best quote ever.
All right. I know we got Riley in the house. Do we have
any news today? Do we cover the news?
Any news? I mean, there's news every day. What I thought was interesting was did you see this not Exxon, the Shell BP thing from yesterday? Yeah. That was weird. Yeah. So
sounds like it's gonna be more of a merger.
WSJ comes out and says that Shell's been sniffing around, trying to buy or approaching whatever conversations with BP. They come out and say, no, we're not. And then they say, actually, we're not, because there's like a law in place in the UK that is preventing us from doing this. But I don't know. The WSJ is a pretty good track record for M&A reporting. I can't think of too many times where they've been outright wrong. So I bet some sort of merger happens eventually between those two. But the market reaction was kind of funny because
these are two of the largest non-US oil and gas majors. So this would be a pretty big deal.
It would be. Yeah. So BP popped and they gave it all back yesterday. Pretty much.
And they're very different, Spencer. At least back in the day, Shell
know.
was always one of like the forward-looking majors, investing in alternative stuff like that. And BP, these were the guys more than anybody who were like, forget it, oil and gas forever. We're gonna be on this shit till the day you die. You know when all the other oil companies start coming and be like, we're gonna be off oil and gas by 2025.
Yeah, that's right.
BP was the one like, you're all crazy. We're not investing for that shit.
Yeah, I haven't seen a commercial like Exxon had all those commercials about like wind and solar for a while. I haven't seen one of those for a minute.
6 years yet.
I don't know. All right. Hey, we got Riley Rosebee in the house. Riley, do we have a bumper for you?
Speaking of getting off oil and gas, Riley Rosebee is here to tell you about a catch-up trade in Tesla.
I don't know if we have a bumper, Riley. I apologize. We'll have to get you one. Maybe we do, but I don't have it handy.
Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Hey, Riley.
Good morning, gentlemen.
What's going on?
Just another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Tell me about this Tesla. How come it's going one way when the rest of the market's going another way?
I mean, animal spirits. I don't know exactly what to tell you.
Great
I did like how you flipped in the little catch-up trade though, because you're right. This is the absolute. I'm not changing my mind, but I'm saying this is the absolute catch-up trade for the Mag 7. So for sure.
I thought you like buying things at all-time highs though. You could find Mag 7s at all-time highs.
Well, you can. You can, like Nvidia. Nvidia looks fantastic.
You'd rather own Tesla than Nvidia?
Not right now.
Oh.
But Tesla had its robo-taxi rollout, and it was pretty significant. It was one of those moments.
Talk to me about that. As someone that just reads headlines, and I mean I read articles too, but a lot of what I read is headlines. Can you so I saw that they're live in Austin. It's like it's like a geo cached area. Geofence, yep. Thank you. Geofence area. But that's all that I know. So tell me more, please.
I mean, there's about 10 to 20 cars out there. So It's not a large fleet. They have a safety driver sitting in the passenger seat just in case something goes down. And from what we can kind of tell, pretty much everybody who got invited into that, exclusive offer to go test these robo-taxis have been pretty positive on Tesla for the last 12, 18 months, so they're like Tesla Bowl influencers. So I don't think it should be anyone's surprise that we didn't see a ton of negative feedback day one until all the videos started surfacing. People started going through them, seeing some of the hiccups that occurred. It wasn't a perfect rollout. I'm going to be honest. There's a few moments of like, okay, this isn't ready yet.
Nothing blew up though, Riley?
Nothing blew up. No casualties. So I think that's a win. And the really interesting thing about Tesla is they just have the scalability factor that nobody else can really match, right? At the flip of a switch, a software update, everybody who owns a Tesla automatically becomes somebody who has an income generating asset in said Tesla.
Yep. This is a subscription business. Is that not well priced into the stock by now? We've been hearing this story for 10 years.
I think we should take everything with a grain of salt regarding Elon because, I don't want to say he overpromises and underdelivers, but he's pretty hyperbolic as far as his timelines go. I think that's just something that, we've come to learn about Elon is if he thinks something's happening in 6 months,
probably 6 years.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 12 months, maybe it's 18 months. So it's going to be a slow rollout. I did think it was interesting though. The following day, Uber and Waymo announced that they're launching robotaxi service in Atlanta. And I'm sure you guys saw the move in Uber on Tuesday. Yep. So, the world of autonomy is here. I think that's the biggest thing that everyone should take away from what happened last weekend is like, Autonomy's here.
And how do we kind of choose the winner? Because the market right now, I would argue, is saying you want Uber, forget Tesla. So do we let the market decide kind of who's winning this autonomous megatrend?
I like the market deciding for sure. I think the best play though, right now, just how the tape is scattered, like the semis, man. How many semiconductors are in a robo taxi? I'm getting numbers anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000. And so, semiconductors are basically the picks and shovels of this AI revolution, AI paradigm shift that we're going through. So why not just own the leaders? And then I'm sure the moment there's some traction in Tesla, like we know this, how this thing moves. You just got to keep an eye on it, set alerts, maybe set some buy stops for when it actually starts to break through those highs.
Yeah. This Mobileye looks interesting. Don't they make the automobile sensors still? And when Intel like sells something, you probably want to buy it. You just want to do the opposite of what Intel's doing. Maybe it's time to buy Mobileye.
I mean, that's more of a catch-up trade for you, Steve. 100%.
Tesla is a catch-up trade, Riley. I got news for you.
It is a catch-up trade. It is
Yes.
a catch-up trade, but it's what, one of the top 10 largest companies in the world?
Does that make it different? Does that make
I
it
think
different?
so. I think so. Winners win. It has this
Uh-huh.
proven track record of winning.
Tesla's not a winner right now. Looks like garbage. It's being outperformed by everything.
Have you ridden in a full self-driving Tesla before? Like,
I'm not going to drive in a car and make an investing decision based on it.
I think you need to have one of those moments. I think it's the iPhone moment. I think it's an iPad moment. I think it's a moment that you're like, okay, once you go full self-driving, you never want to go back. You never want to sit down and drive ever again.
I like to be driven. I don't care if it's a human or a robot doing it. So it's not going to affect me too much, I don't think. They should live stream like they do with the rockets and like live stream. Oh, this one's going up the sidewalk now. Can't parallel park. Uh-oh.
I mean, I want to say too, the one thing that we're kind of missing as far as Tesla goes is we haven't even talked about the humanoids yet.
Oh,
God knows when those are going to get released. Maybe it's going to be 5 years down the road, but like,
now
that's just another notch, a feather in their cap.
How come their earnings are like cut in half? Is like the fourth quarter huge for Tesla? Is it like an Apple situation where they just bang in the fourth quarter? Because the earnings like cut in half past few quarters. You don't look at these fundamentals, right? It's not worth it.
I'm not a big fundamental guy. I'm more the narrative. I kind of like the narrative because, the fundamentals fall into line with that narrative positive feedback loop.
Well, but it also goes the other way though.
It can go the other way.
The problem for me with Tesla is this. Tesla is significantly different than all of the other Mag 7s in the simple sense that their fundamentals are insane. These guys print money. Their businesses are so sound and they're so very profitable. Tesla, not that. Not the same in that way. Broadcom would be more like that. You would throw Broadcom into the Mag 7, kick Tesla out if you're doing it purely on fundamentals.
Well,
Tesla
if you really want to get into the Mag 7, though, there is some bifurcation happening. I mean, just check out Apple. It stopped going down, but on a relative basis, I don't know if you have that chart, Spencer. This thing is still making new lows.
Yeah, Apple has a China problem.
Apple has a China problem. I mean, yeah, obviously Tesla relative to the Mag 7 doesn't look super great. Amazon relative to the Mag 7 doesn't look super great. Although they're talking about laying off a bunch of people. If you don't go back working in the office, I think you have the choice of Seattle, Arlington, Virginia, and then maybe Nashville. If you don't go back to the office, you're done. No severance. Thank you for your time.
Who's saying that? Amazon?
Amazon. Dude,
where are you at on that? Where are you guys at on that?
On like going back to the office?
Yeah.
I think people who outperform in whatever profession they are going to outperform regardless if they're in the office, if they're not in the office. I think it's kind of a way to keep an eye on people. I do see advantages of collaboration and stuff, but like, I think there's more areas we can explore in just optimizing our quality of life in our day-to-day lives that will lead to optimizing our work performance that I don't think we've really tapped into quite yet.
I think this is a question that is so hard right now for the largest corporations. Because the right answer is it depends who you are. Some people can work from home and should be able to. However, when you start picking and choosing who can and who can't, you have real problems in your corporate culture.
That's right.
You literally can't do that. So these companies, I mean, it really sucks. We're small and nimble. We've always worked from home, so that's lovely. But man, that would really stink to work at a company where they got to force everybody to come back, but you're that guy who really could have worked from home just fine. That's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. It's a
I
big
don't know. I
bummer.
don't know what the answer is. Either.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen if this trend continues. Like, what's going to happen in a lot of these little mountain town resort towns that are heavily affected by the Airbnb situation? Because I know a lot of folks who work at big tech, you know, they go spend a lot of time in these places. If they're not able to do that, what's going to happen in those housing markets? There's some ripple effects that may occur from these decisions.
Maybe. Yeah. I think in general, the trend of living wherever and working from wherever will gradually continue.
Of course. You
And
can't put the
continue to-
genie back in the bottle, is my
Right.
thing. Like,
Right.
it's already out. It's happening.
Yeah. So this is like a counter trend wave within a larger mega trend, which is like, we're all going to be home one day.
Yeah. We're all going to have Rosie the robot, you know, taking care of us.
If you can't work effectively from home, you probably just won't have a job. You got to hope for like universal income or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we
Depends on what you do. You got a metal fabrication at your house. Like, I don't know. If you're building real hardware and stuff, you probably got to work somewhere.
I believe life is about balance. There are days pretty much every week where I wish we were all in the same room. It would just make life a little bit easier if we were all together.
When I started working from home, I'll tell you my story. I used to commute literally 2 hours to work and 2 hours home. And that was the most hellish experience of my life.
Get it.
And a lot of it was actually sitting in a car in traffic. So I couldn't even sit there and read or like do anything else. I'm just sitting there staring at the parking lot that is I-95.
I get
for
it.
2 hours every morning, 2 hours every night. If you go through that for long enough and literally throw out 4 hours of your day every day, when you finally work from home, you're gonna be productive as fuck. That's what happened. I was so grateful to work from home. Like my productivity went through the roof and I was happier. You take out that commutes make people miserable. Elon Musk, when he started building this stupid tunnel company, he said traffic is a soul destroying activity.
It is.
He's so right.
It is.
Destroy your soul.
It destroys your soul. Now
It
imagine
does.
taking
It's
that.
exhausting.
I mean, a
Commuting,
little bit
man.
on the positive note. Imagine taking that 2-hour drive via self-driving car so that you can get some work done. Not to say that you want to. I don't think you want to do that, but like it's a better experience than having to pay attention behind the wheel.
Riley, how about even better than that? A
Just
flying
work from
car.
home.
Just
No, yeah.
a flying car.
Yeah. I mean, one day it's coming, man.
Well,
It's coming.
speaking of commuting, I mean, I could also just take a helicopter, right? I could take one of these Archer aviation things and just
Exactly.
Uber for the skies, right?
Exactly. I don't think I shared a chart with you guys, but if you've pulled
No.
up the Blade recently,
Yeah, I'm in, Riley.
Remind me, Nicker, please.
BLDE.
Thank you.
So they have a pretty large segment within like the healthcare medical servicing side of things.
That would make sense. That'd be the only use case at the moment, right?
Well, I mean, they still do helicopter rides up like from New York to
Okay.
downtown Manhattan to JFK or like to
Whatever.
the Hamptons or something like that. But
So cool.
I know they got, I want to say it was a couple years ago, they got banned from Montauk because of the noise. Like the folks in Montauk were like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, but our life is so difficult. We can't have this noise going on." And
Fantastic.
the really interesting thing about these EV tolls is they're like effectively silent. And the CEO of Blade is talking about how EV tolls are going to unlock this large expansion in their business. You're starting to see Blade catch a bid. Like, this is where we're going.
Electric vehicle takeoff and landing. If you're not familiar with the EV toll, that's what the kids call it.
Yeah, they actually don't like it called a flying car. Like, people in the industry don't like that terminology. Is something I've learned, which is kind of sad. It's got such a strong name to it. Go ahead, Strazza.
The E-Hang looks a little springy here.
It
I haven't looked
does.
at this stock in months.
It,
All right,
it
guys.
looks-
1 minute to the open. We got
wait,
calls to
wait,
sell.
wait, wait, wait. We got Sean here. I want to bring Sean on. Sean, you good? Cool. I think he's here. I hope he's here. All right.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
Yo,
what's up?
dude.
Hey, I don't know if Fonz was able to get those charts ready for me.
I believe he was.
He is the chart ninja.
Okay, yeah. I just wanted to talk charts here for a second. You know, we've done very well over the last 2 months, buying all the catch-up trades, right? Getting the bouncies and the V bottoms, right? But you've probably noticed that now we're starting to see charts that are setting up for breakouts, right? Back to new all-time highs. And I mean, I brought 5 charts. I mean, these are just examples, but I mean, we have so many names right now that now that the V bottom is completed, now we, at least me, personally, I'm changing tactics. I'm getting involved in stocks that are on the verge of breaking out to all-time highs, 52-week highs. Seen a lot of great setups like that. We got like Canadian Imperial Bank, Coinbase, was that CRDO? I forget what that's called.
I mean, you could even
Rocket Lab.
you could see some of these patterns
Yeah.
even at the index level, Sean, what you're talking about. XLI, XLK, like these are just fresh, clean breakouts, and you can get them at the component level. You're absolutely right.
I mean, it's been a while since we've seen charts like this, right? Cycle through some more of these.
Rocket Labs is great. Look at that. You can enter that right here if you're trying to trade the breakout.
Yep. I mean, it's not. I mean, for me, it's nice. I've never been super comfortable buying stocks off the lows. I mean, obviously they're great trades and they have been great over the last 2 months, and I have played some of them. But for me, my wheelhouse is I love buying stocks that are making 52-week highs, making all-time highs, blue skies ahead. And we're starting to set up my kind of environment here, which I love. And hey, Strazza, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you back in early April talking about V bottoms when a V bottom didn't even look like it was possible. You were the only person I knew calling that a possibility, and you absolutely nailed it.
I appreciate that, man. I was like, people were looking at me like I was crazy. We were having people on the show back then, Spencer. Do you remember, who were literally telling us that the world was ending? So when you hear something like that,
yeah,
my spidey senses.
Steve was also like preparing for a retest, that like mentally preparing, but that never came. Steve was like V bottom, but I'm ready for this retest. Retest never happened, right? So
isn't that the true test of a trader, though? Being open to any opportunity, any possibility, flexibility.
Being flexible, you have to.
Today, I'm paying attention. So yesterday was mixed action. I didn't love it. A lot of the stuff I was in got absolutely creamed, giving back gains mostly. But like the speculative tech stuff, you had some big red candles yesterday. What I don't like to see when I'm tape reading in an up leg in a bull market is follow through on a down day. So the way they come in and buy this dip today, especially in the stuff that was hardest hit yesterday, I'm really paying close attention to that.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. Yesterday, some of the biggest trades I'm in right now had some ugly candles, but when you zoom out, it's like, okay, that's warranted. We've just had a great run. You know, we can stomach a little bit of pullback. It's healthy.
By the way, Riley, the first humanoid ETF is going live today from Roundhill. HUMN. It's 20% Tesla Nvidia.
I think they already have one. KOID.
KOID.
I have the best ETF scanner.
KOID.
Oh shit! I'll be damned. Korean shares. Yeah. All right. My mistake. Anyway.
I mean,
hey,
nobody owns these things, dude.
I was gonna say there's no price history there.
No. Hey, let's do some resizing. I have a story that kind of involves Sean.
Okay.
Ooh, all right.
All right. So, was it 2 weeks ago, Sean? You and I were in the city together, right?
Yep.
Sean and I went down to the stock exchange, went to a nice little dinner. I guess you could say it was a bull market dinner. Had a great time, right? Dinner ends. Sean and I leave. I'm going home to New Jersey. Sean's going back to his hotel. So we go our separate ways. Sean starts walking down. What was that, Broadway, or I forget whatever road we
I
were
was
on?
heading south. I was heading south.
I know you're heading south. I know that. Sean's heading downtown. I hop on the subway to get to the path to go home. So,
Subway story.
Subway story in the evening. Now, if you've ever ridden the subway in the evening, you know that the evening subway has some quirks to it, right? There's all kinds of scheduling things and constructions happening, and there's weird things can happen on the subway in the evening.
The subway in New York City is a legit mental health crisis.
Yeah.
Anybody who tells you otherwise is a goddamn liar. Sorry, go on.
No, it's okay. So I'm on, for those keeping score at home, I'm on the number 6 train. I'm on the 6 train heading downtown. And I'm doing what most people do on the subway. I'm zoning out. I'm not really paying attention. I know,
careful now,
generally speaking, how many stops I need to go. I'm on my phone, and I'm also I'm not sleeping a lot these days, so I'm pretty exhausted. I'm just zoning out. So I'm on my phone. Train stops. We're at a station. Whatever. Doors closed. I'm on my phone, and I look up, and I notice that the entire car has emptied out. Everyone in the car is gone.
Somebody was pooping.
No. Everybody was gone except for me. Everybody in the car left, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. And the doors close, and nobody gets on. I thought, oh, that's also kind of weird. And then I look to the cars.
Nothing to see here.
I look at the other cars, and there's no one in those cars either. I'm like, am I the only person on this train right now? I might be the only person. This is really weird. And then we don't move. We just sit there for probably like 5 minutes. And I'm like thinking, all right, I don't really know what's going on, but we're at a station, not moving. There's people on the platform. A couple of them are looking at me. I'm looking back. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then after a few minutes, the train jerks forward, and we start like creeping really slowly into like the bowels of New York City, right? Like the train's going like 5 miles an hour, and we slowly leave the station with just me, right? And then we go for about 30 seconds, and then we stop, like in the tunnel, just full stop. And so now I'm like kind of freaking out because I start walking up and down, through the train through different cars, and I am the only person on this subway. There was no one else there, and we are stuck. We are stopped in the tunnel, just not even moving. And I don't know what to do. So first thing I do is try to call it like 911, but there's no cell reception down there, so that didn't work. So
you got to call Batman. He's the only one that could help you in that place, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, we're in a subway tunnel. It's like it's creepy down there. So I guessed it. I picked a direction. I'm like, let's just walk this way, and I hope I get to the front of the train. And as I go, I am pulling or I'm pushing like every car has like an emergency alarm thing. It's kind of hidden. I pull them as I go. So I walked like down like 5 or 6 cars. I'm just pulling the emergency thing down each one as I go. And I finally get to the end. At least I think it's the end. And I'm like peering through the window, trying to understand like where I'm at. And all of a sudden, a woman, a conductor, appears on the other side of the window, just out of the, and we scared the crap out of each other. She scared me. I scared her. Because remember, it's quiet. It's dark. There's nothing going on. And like we both like jump back. And she yells through the window. She goes, "Why didn't you get off?" I wasn't paying attention. And also, I didn't know. Like, I can read a subway map. I thought we had more stops to go. And I said I wasn't paying attention. She said, "Do you want to get off?" I said, "Yes, please." She said, "Okay, well, you have to wait till we turn around." And that was when I realized that apparently the number 6 train, at certain points in the evening, at the Brooklyn Bridge / City Hall, does a U-turn, and it turns around and goes in the other direction. And I did not know that. So a few minutes go by, and then eventually, the train does turn around, and I end up back at that same platform going north. So then the doors open, and I ran out of there, and that was the end of that pretty much. But it was, the whole ordeal lasted probably around 10 minutes or so. I was kind of
lucky it wasn't longer.
I myself And I didn't like. What do you do in that scenario? Because like for all I know, the train is out of service for the night. I don't know.
Right.
You know, you should have just come with me, Spencer. I had a lovely walk downtown.
I was thinking that
walked to City Hall.
Sean's smart.
There.
Sean's
I
smart
walked right
not to
past
go
City
down
Hall.
those stairs. Yeah,
It was a beautiful walk.
Stay above. You know.
Yeah. It wasn't 100 degrees. That was good. And that was pretty much the only silver lining was it was not hot down there or in the car. The car did have AC. But yeah, I was thinking, I should have just walked with Sean. Damn, why didn't I stay with Sean?
It was a beautiful night. A lot of people out. It was a great, lovely walk. Should have come with me.
It was a very stressful situation that resolved itself rather quickly in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, sometimes subway cars do U-turns apparently. So pay attention. If rule of thumb, if everybody else gets out of the subway car, get out of the car with them.
Follow them.
Don't stay on the car.
Yeah, follow crowds.
Yeah.
Two comments in the chat. First of all, Jennifer Lopez used to ride the 6. That is a great comment. Hilarious. If you know, you know. Shout out Bronx. I used to take the subway every day, twice a day. And then Rachel, Strazza just doesn't like the subway. Newsflash, Rachel, no one likes the subway. I don't like New York City.
I'm going to disagree. I like the subway.
I kind of like the subway.
Gets you where you need to go very efficiently. I love it.
Then you just don't, you haven't spent enough time there. People who are like, oh, I like the subway. You're a tourist, okay? Live in New York City. Take the subway every day.
I've lived in New York City, and you know, growing up in the West, there's no public transit. So the subway
I took the train in Chicago every day, and I loved it. Very
New York
efficient.
City is just.
I think we need to put a camera on Strazza and send him down.
Hey,
I've spent so much time there. I can have these views on New York City because I've been there. I've spent so much time of my life there. So I can talk all the shit I want as far as I'm concerned.
Hey, let me give a quick, change directions here real quick. Quick shout out to my son. Big baseball night last night.
Hey, son.
He had a game. They were winning by 1 run. It was the bottom of the last inning. He was on the mound pitching. The first batter got a hit. Stole a couple bases, made it to third base. And remember, they were only up by 1 run. So nobody out, runner on third, a lot of stress. Then he strikes out the side. Game over. And then after that, the game was over and the coach announced that all-star game selections have been made. And my son has been named the starting pitcher for his all-star game next week. Very excited.
Hey,
very excited.
Awesome. I never made the all-star team.
Neither did I.
Yeah. Good. Nice job. All right. Let's get out of here. It is 9:41. Markets are dancing. Are they dancing? Let me see.
We're good. The pump and the hot stocks again. They're buying the dip.
Every sector in the green except for real estate. Come on, real estate, catch up. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Kenny Glick going live at noon on here on the channel. If you're a member of Breakout Multiplier, you'll get your weekly video with Strazza. That is live at 11 o'clock today in the Breakout Multiplier members area. You'll get an email about it as well. Riley, the link to Riley's newsletter and Sean, for that matter, are both in the description on YouTube below. Get them. They're free. Gold Rush is going live at 2:30. Jason and Sam. And that's what we got. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Kenny. See you guys tomorrow. And YOLO responsibly.
Bye, guys.
It's a bull market.
Run it.